Hello, my friends. Happy New Year. Happy 2020. That does not even sound like a real year, does it? No, it does not. The Y2K bug, we left that shit back 20 years ago. The Y2K bug can vote now. Whew. We are in the motherfucking future, people. Hey, last week we recapped 2019. Like I said last week, it was not a great year. I definitely feel like I'm picking up steam for 2020. This episode, we're going to talk about me, and then we're going to talk about you. Yes, you. One of the things I want to do for 2020 is we won't do any ad reads until we're pushing several hundred downloads per episode. Instead, if you'd like to support this podcast, you can do that several ways. I have several affiliate accounts, things that I believe in, things I use. And you can go to the show notes for this episode. That's betterhumanhood.com/EP49. That's EP as in episode 49. You can go just to betterhumanhood.com. You can go to joshshear.com. You can go to the link on my social profiles. It's a Linktree link, and it'll have all the ways that you can support me, support this show. And now, speaking of this show, let's do the show.
Welcome to Better Humanhood, where we build a better world by building better people. We have to live on the planet, and we have to live with other people. We have conversations about making that a wonderful proposition.
So in addition to this being the first ad-free episode of the year, I think it's also going to be the last scripted episode. I'm going to get back to talking about things that are important to me. If I write something interesting on the blog over at joshshear.com, I'll mention it and maybe I'll pull an excerpt or two, but mostly I'm going to come with some notes of things I want to talk about. This is a departure from, if you were around for Josh the podcast, I would usually just fly off the cuff and say whatever was on my mind at the moment. And for most of this year, or for most of last year, now that it's 2020, once we got into the swing of it in 2019, what we did was we posted every week on the blog and then read the blog post over here in the podcast. So we're going to stop doing that after this one. Yeah, I feel more confident in my speaking, and I also feel more confident in my ability to come up with original material more than once a week and still stay consistent with it. So that's a challenge for me. Beyond bringing you content, here are the things that are important to me this year. First off, my health. That's going to be my biggest personal focus in 2020. You're fat, your cholesterol is a little high, and your blood pressure is getting to be a problem. Isn't exactly a massive heart attack, but it's a wake-up call. If I want to be around for my kid, my health has to be my top priority this year. I never knew my grandfather. My dad's dad died when I was 2. My little brother is named after him. We name our children, in my family, we have a tradition of naming our children after deceased relatives. So my brother is 2 years, 9 months younger than me, and he is named after my grandfather, which means my grandfather, barely made it to see any of his grandkids born. And, I started having kids late in life. I'm 43 now. I don't want to be dead by the time she's 10, So, off to the races. Let's go. Next up, Freemasonry. If you know what it means, I'm moving to the East this year. If you don't know what that means, it means essentially that the lodge will look to me for leadership this year. It's going to be a tough year. We've been in our current location for a century or so, and we need to move. We're losing the building. Our landlord sold it, so I'm going to have to probably lead a group of people who will go kicking and screaming. They got to go. We don't really have a choice, but we haven't missed a meeting in our 180 years. Not going to do it under my watch just because we didn't plan. So most of that won't be for public consumption, but if you are a traveling man and you want to come join along for the journey, we meet the second and fourth Thursday most month down right now at the Scottish Rite Center, but not for long. Hope to see you there. We eat at 6, meet at 7. Bring your dues card, of course. You know the deal. As I mentioned last week, felt like I fumbled through our first year with a child. She's finally more on a daily routine and going to tighten that up. And I really want us to come back together as a family unit. We really feel kind of dispersed a little bit. And as far as reading and learning goes, I probably read 65 books in 2019, not counting the dozens that we've read to the baby. We joined a 1,000 books before kindergarten challenge. So we're probably on pace to get there before she's 3. So a couple years ahead of schedule, maybe. That's okay. But anyway, I will probably do more slow, purposeful reading in 2020, probably more fiction. I will probably go deeper on some of the things I did learn in 2019, but probably with fewer sources and just a deeper dive. And now that we've talked about me, let's talk about you. Specifically, if you made a resolution, yesterday being New Year's Day, toss it. Now, here's why. Your resolution is tied to changing the calendar. It should be tied to something more important to you. I didn't start making my health a priority on January 1 or even on November 1. As soon as I recognized that there was a change, my health was going to potentially negatively impact my relationship to a child, I had to take control. And you can do the same, whatever your change is, whether you're going for a cleaner slate of health, whether you're going for starting your own business, whether you have a business that you're going to 10x this year, whatever you're going to do, don't tie it to the change in the calendar, tie it to why. First off, you need to have a measurable goal. You won't know you've succeeded if you don't. I know that 140 pounds is an achievable healthy weight for me. I know that I'm genetically predisposed to a high LDL level. If I can keep it under 135, I'll be in decent shape. I know what my blood pressure should be. All those things are measurable. And that's how I'll know I'll have succeeded in my goals. So lose weight is not a goal. Get under 140 pounds is. Make more money this year is not a goal. Make 10 times what I made last year is a goal. Or make $10,000 more than I made last year, or create a side hustle that makes $20,000 this year, or create a side hustle that brings in $500 a month. Those are measurable goals. Make more money is not. So pick a goal that is measurable. Now, have a plan for success. What happens if you get where you want to be? It's easy for a weight loss goal. Maintain that weight or set a new target. What about a financial goal or a career goal? If you get where you want to be, do you stagnate for years? You're going to have to figure out what's next, so have a plan for success. Set milestones along the way and acknowledge them. You can't make big moves without the little ones. Now, let's talk about how big you should reach. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in one day, but underestimate what they can accomplish in a week, month, or year. Go big and plan on doing it a little bit at a time. Remember that if you can read just 10 pages a day, you can read 10 pages a day, right? Even if you're a slow reader, let's say you're setting aside a half an hour a day to read 10 pages. You'll read a 300-page book every month. If you can write 500 words a day, 500 words. I've probably spoken 1,000 already in, 6 minutes into this podcast? You'll write over 700 double-spaced pages. 500 words a day. You'll write 700 double-spaced pages. If you can walk 3 miles every day, and I'm not saying you have to do it all at once, it's probably, for most people, around 6,000 steps. Maybe it's 7,000. If you can walk 3 miles every day over the course of a year, you'll cover the distance from Atlanta to Boston. If you're one of those people who gets extra done, you can walk 10 miles a day. Over the course of a year, you'll cover the distance from Los Angeles to Boston. All the way across the country. And this is a pretty big country to be walking across. Go. That's it. You have yourself a wonderful day, wonderful hour, wonderful minute, wonderful moment. Just connect a series of wonderful moments, and everything will come out wonderful. Be who you are. Be who you will to be. We will see you next time.
Thank you for listening. Get show notes and more at betterhumanhood.com. Leave us a rating and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And have yourself a wonderful day.